Lately, I've been asking this question to myself when it comes to self esteem and how we perceive ourselves and physical attraction. Is it really based on the sole opinion of how we view ourselves, what we like about ourselves, and how we look? Or is there some level of outside influence based on how we want to be perceived, how we want to be attracted to or attracted by from the people that we are pursuing in regards to like our sexual orientation. And it got me thinking about this concept of sex appeal and being and feeling sexy. What up, what up? I'm Adrienne. I am an author, I'm a producer, I'm a creator, all of that good stuff wrapped into one. And this is the series called Thoughts in My Head, where I literally just talk about the thoughts that have been floating through my head. There's no advice, there's no help desk, there's no resources, just me kind of rambling about the thoughts in my head in the hopes that it gets you to start thinking about some of the thoughts in your head too. So, today I really want to talk about this idea of being and feeling sexy. And here's the main reason why. I have never seen myself to be a sexy person. Um, Never seen myself to have, quote, sex appeal. Now, the caveat to that is when people are like, oh, you don't think you're attractive? And I'm like, that's not what I said. I do think I look good. I mean, could I stand to lose another 20 pounds? Absolutely, 100%. Does that make me ugly? No. And it doesn't make anybody ugly, in terms of like the weight. But so it's weird because I have finally gotten to that place where I do see myself as attractive. I do see myself to look good. And there are those places where sometimes I like to be, cool, chill, lazy bum, hoodie all day. But then there are other days where your girl shows out and does a pretty good job, if I say so myself. But when it comes to this idea of being and feeling sexy, I've never been that girl. And so it got me to think about this idea of physical attraction and how we see ourselves, because you hear a lot of people telling you and talking about you know you have to have self-esteem, you have to find your self-worth. If you don't think you're attractive, why would anybody else think you're attractive? And I don't disagree with any of those points, but I started thinking about it, and it really got me thinking, you know if you desire to be in any sort of relationship, one of the things you would hope is that your partner would be attracted to you. Now, of course, the goal is for your partner, the person who truly loves and values you, to be attracted to who you are in the form that you present, and that you don't necessarily have to do anything to be attractive to them. It's just a natural attraction. But then it brings about the question for me, when it comes to me feeling or not feeling like a sexy person, is that something that I've created in my head, or is it sort of based on, I don't know. Like, I don't even have the rest of the question. Um, and the reason why, I'll give this example as why it always pops into my head. So my ex and I recently broke up, like I say 6 months ago, but that's really not the point of the story. Um, we would have conversations because what I loved and valued about him is he is and was the first person who actually asked me what I liked, what I desired when it came to sex. And it was weird to me because I was like, no one's ever asked me that. And so, one, I had to think about it because unfortunately for me, I've never been in that position. And we can get into why later in another series. I'm not going to waste your time about it today. But one of the things that we did do in our relationship is we would have, I don't want to say exploratory moments, because that would be, wouldn't be weird, but it would definitely kind of change the mood. But, after we would have sex, there would be questions. We would kind of talk, what did you like? What didn't you like? What do you want to try? What do you want to do more of? And in those conversations, one of the things I mentioned to him is that I feel weird. I feel awkward, not because I don't enjoy what we do, not because I don't, enjoy our connection. I just don't feel sexy. So I feel weird performing sexual acts when I don't in turn feel sexy. And so, of course, then the question followed, well, what do you think is sexy? And to me, what I think is sexy is, Megan Fox, women who make the cover of Maxim and things of that nature. And like I said, as cute and good looking as I am, I, in my head, don't see myself being one of those women. And he asked me why. And I told him, I said, well, if you think about it, I'm a little weirdo. I'm not what you would consider the stereotypical woman, which, is a topic in and of itself. And so he was like, okay, elaborate. And I was like, well, I watch animated series. I watch a lot of cartoons. I watch a lot of comedies. I enjoy playing video games. Like, in my head, in my brain, nobody's jerking off to a gamer. In my head. And so when I said that, he was like, but I don't think you realize when you and I play the game together, that's what attracts me. He was like, you don't realize how attractive that is to me, that you and I can enjoy an activity together like gaming. And to be fair to his point, a lot of times after we would play the game together, it would turn into sex afterwards because for whatever reason, me getting my ass kicked in Call of Duty is actually fun and interesting to him because it's an activity that we're sharing. And so something about that to him was sexy. And so it really just got me thinking, where did I get this idea that sexy only had one look, one trope, so to speak? And I still haven't found the answer. So unfortunately, there's no solution to this video. But honestly, that's not the point of these videos anyway. But what it did do, it made me start to find and figure out the sexy and find the sexy in me. And so I'm curious to see what that looks like, and how to embrace it and still be me. Because, cut out clothing isn't me. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not me. I'm lazy, you're not going to catch me every day in heels. I don't have anything against heels. I own more heels than flats, but it's not my everyday thing. Every day I don't want to be sexy. Case in point, I feel great. And so one of the things I'm going to do for myself, at least for the remainder of 2022, is really figure out what sexy looks like on me. And not for anybody else, but really trying to understand why I didn't feel like I fit that label in some ways, why I was so uncomfortable about the possibility of being considered sexy, and how to embrace it, because I think that's important to understanding every piece of who I am. And so, I'm going to be interested to see exactly what that looks like. And that's all I got.